This is part 2 to Lab 7, and in this video we are going to be demoing and building the NOR gate and equivalents to a NOR gate. In the previous video we did this same thing with a NAND gate, and I've explained the current setup at the beginning of that video, so if you don't know about the setup you can go check it out there. But at the same time we're going to jump straight into it. We have this gate, which is not a NOR gate. We don't have any NOR gates here. So in reality, we're kind of making two equivalents. We have this one NOT gate, and we're going to use this one NOT gate 3 times. It's going to have 3 inputs and 3 outputs. So this baby's being put to work. We have this one, which is an OR gate. You can see from the numbering up here, if you were to search that up. And then we also have this gate right here, which is an AND gate. So to do this, we are going to have this OR gate, this one right here, behind this NOT gate, and that will give us a NOR gate. The equivalence of this is 2 of these NOR gates behind this one AND gate. And if we wire that up, we will output it and get our result. First thing that we're going to do is start off with the OR to the NOT gate. So what we're going to do is make sure the notches are both facing towards the left, and then we are going to plug them in to our breadboard, making sure that the power and ground wires are correctly connected. Once these are both plugged in, they are going to look like this. Now we're going to have to wire these together and then wire the output. So for this, we have 2 inputs going into our OR gate. This is good. This is what we want. We have both switches in here. Then we are going to need the output. So we will take the output of this OR gate. It's going to go to our NOT gate, and then the output of the NOT gate is going to go to the LED bar and be displayed. Remember that the NOT gate has multiple inputs and multiple outputs, just like the other AND gates. And we're going to manipulate that again in this lab. So I'm going to take this small wire. I'm going to connect it into the output of this OR gate, which is right here, the 3rd column. So we're underneath the 3rd kind of leg, and this is going to go into the 1st column of our NOT gate. So that is what our circuit will look like right now. So the output of this is going to be in the 3rd column for the little metal part. I'm going to again use a red wire, and I'll use the smaller one. This red wire is going to go from the 3rd output right here, and it's just going to terminate into one of these LED slots, and it'll just look like this. We can test this. This should be a NOR gate. When we're demonstrating the NOR gate, it should only light up when both of these are off. If one or the other is flicked on, then there should be no output, and if both are on, there should still be no output. So turning this on, we can see that there's output when it's both off. If we flip up the first switch, it turns off. If we flip up the second switch, it turns off. And if we flip up both, it'll still be off. So turning this off, turn that back off. We've created this gate correctly. This is the NOR gate, which is the OR and the NOT. NOT, OR, NOR. Kind of makes sense. Next, we are going to take our AND gate, and we are going to put it just right here, like this. And now we are going to wire it up. So we are going to have something from these switches flow into one of the inputs of this NOT gate, This NOT gate is going to take the inputs. It's going to take 2 inputs. So all in total, you should have 3 inputs to this NOT gate and 3 outputs. However, unlike this first one, we're not going to be outputting to the LED bar. We're going to be outputting to this AND gate. And then this AND gate is going to output to our LED bar. And that is going to give us the equivalent of the NOR. So I'm going to, again, color code this. We're going to do the green first, and I'm going to do the green with the first switch, and that's how I'm going to associate it. So we're going to plug this in underneath the wire that is correlating to the first switch. This is going to go into this NOT gate. Now, I said previously that there are different inputs and outputs, and it kind of depends on your gate. I found that mine was a little bit different than the diagram that I found online, but we've populated this kind of slot. So the next one that I have is the 3rd to the last, and it's going to look like this. So the green wire is going to be plugged into the third to the last, and then that is the input. Now the output is going to be the second to the last, or the one that's right behind it. So it's going to plug in like this. And this is the input, this is the output. The output, we are going to be terminating into one of the first two columns of our AND gate. So that is going to terminate into there. The first column is how we're going to do it. And that is the first part of our NOR gate done. We're then going to use this orange wire. And this orange wire, I'm going to associate it with the second switch part. So I'm going to plug it in right underneath the second switch. It's going to go right here. We can see that it's associated with that. And I'm going to bring it above this gate. So none of the bottom slots are left. That way, none of the bottom slots are left. That's why I'm bringing it above. It will make no difference though. For my gate, it's going to be plugged into the third to the last column. Looks like this. And then that is the input. The output is going to be the very last column. So it will be plugged in right here. And that is what our circuit is going to look like. Now the output for this is going to go into the second part for our AND gate. It's going to go in just like this. And that is how we would wire the inputs for our NOR gate when we're using the NOT and the AND. For the output of our NOR, or this AND part, I'm going to connect this yellow wire into the third column, and then I'm going to connect it behind this red wire. So now our circuit is going to look like this. And our circuit, if we wired it correctly, should be complete. This is exactly how it's going to look. So just to make sure that yours is right, I'll let you bask in its glory while I rotate it slowly. Make sure you check all your wires. You want everything to be correct so that it turns on and you don't embarrass yourself. Now we are going to use these white wires and we're going to connect them to the first two of our LED bar. And we are going to be piggybacking off of these two input wires. So I said earlier that the green one was for the first switch and the orange one was for the second switch. Knowing that, we can just find where this input terminates. It terminates in this column. So I'm going to plug this in here. We can see that it's in the same column. And then I'm going to terminate it into the first LED. Now I'm going to piggyback off the orange one. This is for the second switch. And it is up here. So I'm going to plug it in right above it. And then this is going to terminate into the second column. And that is how that should look. Pretty beautiful. It'll look even more beautiful when it's powered on, and we can see that both light up. This first one is a little bit dim, but that's okay. It lights up, and that's all that matters. So the NOR gate should only light up when both of these are off. I'm going to flip this switch. We can see that the switch is on, but they're both off. If I flip it off, we can see that both of them are lit. And I'm going to flip the second one. We can see the second switch is active, both are off. I'll flip both, and then we can see that they're both off. So that is how you would go about building this circuit. I really hope it helps because it can be quite confusing, especially trying to figure out where the actual inputs and outputs are for this gate when you're using the multiple inputs and outputs for the gate. But it can be super simple, and it can save you from using multiple NOT gates. When I first started this, I was actually using multiple NOT gates, 2 NOT gates in here just to get this output. And then I learned that you can wire up this NOT gate. It's kind of multi-purpose. One purpose, it is just a NOT gate, but it can be used multiple times. And that's pretty cool because if you have limited space, it will help you out and it can keep things nice and tidy. So that is how you would go about solving for this circuit. That's how you would build it, and that's how you would demo it.